Well, hello, my beautiful Cancerians. Welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with your career and money reading for mid-May right through to mid-June 2025. I've already cleansed your space and I've meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares, and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about, pretending to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts, or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam, okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. Now, I've sourced a softer frequency to prepare and cleanse your reading. I'm using Gaia chimes to cleanse hourly, so please be mindful to turn down your volume if you are someone who is sensitive to sound, okay? So let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Cancerians, this is your career and money reading. I'm going to get all of your cards first before I connect to an outcome. But before I even start, I'm seeing three images in the water. I'm scrying at the same time as doing your reading, and I'm seeing a heart, I'm seeing a fingerprint, and I'm seeing a snowflake. Okay, so either that is a logo to something I'm not really a fae with, but it could be a sign or a symbol. I mean, the heart can indicate you're following your heart on something or putting your whole heart and soul into something. The fingerprint could indicate that you're making your own unique mark on something. Perhaps you're creating it or signing something off in the next coming weeks, putting your own unique style to it. And the snowflake can indicate that, you know, you have unique ideas and that you stand out from the crowd. You know, there's no one like you, and that is your superpower. Perhaps you're doing something differently than everybody else, and that marks you for some form of success, okay? It can be that you're looking at your skill set and seeing what you have to offer that others do not. So I have to just give you what I see there. It may be relevant, may not be, but let's move on and get your cards and see what's going on with your reading. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Cancerians? What do they need to know? Can you please highlight to them what they need to be aware of at this time? We have the snake. We have the mountain. Ooh, my beautiful Cancerians, you're going through it right now. You have a lot on your plate, and it feels like very heavy energy. There is change afoot. We also have the whip. Ooh, okay, my beautiful Cancerians, what's going on here? I'm going to get all of your cards first, but these are very strict cards, okay? First card you got there is the snake, then the mountain, and of course we have the whip. So some of you are being stricter with yourself, holding yourself to higher standards over the next coming weeks. I definitely see here that you've been working super hard. There's been some obstacles. Things have been challenging. I feel like a lot of you are exhausted. The mountain is in the resistance position, which is actually really good because it means, you know, you're very close to accomplishing something that has been hard won. But I definitely see here that you've been met with resistance. It's really interesting, and it's showing up in the reading again. Like, what I mean by that is that I do like a little meditation before I start your reading, and I was actually seeing Star Wars, okay? You know, the movie Star Wars. So either you have to confront somebody or fight for something, or you've been met with the resistance on something, for example. I'm not really sure how else to decode that image, but it's showing up again in the water, this time for the actual reading. So somehow it's connected. So I want you to be aware of that. How would you like to receive? Page of Pentacles. We have the Hermit. We have the Lover's card. We have the Emperor. And we have the King of Pentacles there as well. So a lot of people going on in your reading right now. This can indicate that you're working really hard and you're getting serious about your career goals. With that King of Pentacles, that's a really good sign because it means you're multiplying your wealth, or you're on target to increase your finances, and you're diligently working towards something, but you're super serious about it. For some of you, this could be a person that you encounter over the next coming weeks who is very serious and a hard taskmaster is what I'm seeing there. But, you know, we got the Lover's card, which basically means that you are trying to follow your heart. Some of you may be like questioning your industry right now because it has been really challenging or difficult. Even if you work for yourself or a company, it can indicate that things have been heavy going and you feel like you're doing a lot of this by yourself with that Hermit energy. So you can see, look at that figure there. They're feeling a little bit dejected, a little bit exhausted. You know, the Hermit rarely goes into the cave unless they are truly fed up with something. So a lot of you could be fed up with the way things are at this moment in time. Could be new rules, regulations. It feels like it's putting a lot more pressure on. Even if you're a sole trader, you work for yourself, there could be some new policies coming into effect where you're like, oh great, that just means more work for you in some way. And it can be that you have to be really diligent or be super focused in some area in order to make sure you're on top of something. So that's what I'm getting straight away before I've even really touched all of your cards. For those of you who are currently out of work, I want you to be aware there is an energy here of some of you with that mountain in the resistance position. It can indicate that some of you are looking for a role, something stable, something secure, something that really you're passionate about here. I feel right now, if you've been searching for opportunities, the right ones have not arisen, okay? I feel there's 3 coming in, believe it or not. I feel there's 2 kind of like starting level positions. These could be in different areas, but you could migrate your skills. And also there's a managerial role coming up, or something that has status and gravitas there. I feel you're someone who could do it all, actually. You could do the starter entry level, or you could do the managerial role, but I feel a lot of you are feeling exhausted. And with that King of Pentacles, more than anything, I feel like you're going to take the role that gives you the most money at this stage, but also it's the one that actually coincidentally is the job that you'll love, okay? So I feel you're going to align with a role that perhaps gives you a little bit more money than you had in your last position, is what I'm being given. Maybe that you get to negotiate a better deal there, but I feel for some of you, this bossing up role, if you're working for a company, this can mean that you have to be a little bit strict with a working environment, and you may feel it's a little bit lonely at the top when you go into this role, okay? Because I feel the person who did the role before, they were there for quite some time, they were really well liked, and of course you will be very well liked as well, but you going in with wonderful ideas and how to run more efficiently the environment, it could be that people are initially a little bit kind of wary of you. So I feel there's a dynamic of getting to know people first, but I feel they will really warm to your procedures and you'll really make it your own role. And I feel you have a lot of knowledge and you know what you're doing. You're very gifted, very talented. And I would say with there's going to be one person that may be a little bit cranky or distant is what I'm seeing, but actually you'll win this person over, not because you're going to bend over backwards for this person. I feel it's because you hold true to your morals and your sense of purpose when it comes to the role. You're like, well, this is how I do things. I'm incorporating how you do things in the company, and there's going to be a nice merge. You're blending the energies, which actually I feel people respect. Okay, you're not just coming in to bulldoze what went before, you're honoring what went before, but at the same time, you have fresh new ideas, you are new to the post, and I really feel like you're going to make a difference and make it your own, okay? So that's coming out there. So with a lot of love and respect, I'm going to move away from that energy. 2 roles you will turn down, and 1 role you will really enjoy, and that is the one you take, and you will celebrate that, okay? So your first card there, we have the snake. Now snakes represent change, transformation. So a lot of you could be getting a lot of tasks out of the way, and some of you could also be, no matter what you do for a living, you could be looking at like contracts or expiry dates on things that have run their course, things that you don't really need anymore as well. You could be decluttering. Some of you could literally be like, reorganizing your product or your services or your spreadsheets or your laptop or your desk. I just get an energy of reorder here. But also it says here envy. Okay, it says setback and temptation. So because this card is in the protagonist position, some of you have been met with some resistance on something, or you feel that there has been some challenges that you feel has been unfair. Okay, whether this is due to people. So if you work for a company, you could feel that perhaps there's some nepotism going on in the company that you work for. You may feel with that emperor in the resistance position that they've abused their power in some way, because that position can indicate a person that knows that they have a lot of clout, but it can be that they know someone and they've given like some sort of like promotion or bonus or opportunity to somebody who does not deserve it, who is really not working at all. So it could be that you feel something isn't fair right now, and you're someone with the Lover's card. You know, there's aspects of your job that you love, but the Page of Swords can indicate you're being vigilant right now, and you're keeping your eye on things because you're not sure whether you feel aligned to this environment at this moment in time. So I'm picking up that energy for some of you out there, not all of you, but what I do see here is with the Hermit, some of you may feel a little bit like on the outside looking in. The Hermit is to withdraw or remove. So it could be that you are kind of like fed up with something that's going on in your working environment that seems to be typical, okay? Whether it is someone who's just not working or there is a break in the chain and you always have to chase somebody for some aspect of your work, I feel like you're feeling pretty fed up with something, okay? I mean, even the Whip card at the end indicates tension or, you know, someone who's incompetent. So you could be dealing with someone who is consistently not fulfilling the needs of the working environment. And this person, they could be absent or they could just be like coasting, for example. And there may be people in positions of authority who are turning their heads and ignoring it. And it could be because they have friends in high places or they have contacts in some way. There's just some nepotism there. So some of you may be dealing with that. And with the King of Pentacles and the Hermit, a lot of you could be withdrawing to basically just do what you got to do, get on by. Got to be honest with the cards that I'm seeing here. So it can be that it's the same old thing, just a different day. You're just doing what you got to do, but you could be envisaging some sort of new start there. Some of you may even be thinking about running your own business. And if you are running your own business already, some of you may be looking at the competition. I would say any new ideas, because you do have the Page of Swords there, which is a very vigilant card. It means you have an incredible mind. It means you have wonderful ideas. If you are creating something or you are inventing something or launching something, I would say copyright it, you know, trademark it, whatever you got to do, patent it there, because this can indicate people are envious of your ideas. It can also indicate that someone is watching what you do and they want to kind of like pass it off for their own product, for example, or their own idea. So just watch out for that. Now it says here, well, it says here enemy. I don't like that word on this card, but it says enemy. So some of you, there may be a competitor if you are in a working industry where it's highly competitive. So there could be someone who basically lacks a moral compass and is basically going to do what they got to do to get ahead. I feel like you're well aware of this person or this company, and I feel you're just being strict with yourself to employ your knowledge for what you do. And if you do have people who are competing with you, I see that actually you win the race. Okay, slow and steady wins that race. You are at the King of Pentacles level, and this indicates that you are very knowledgeable. You are someone who is very successful already, and you don't really need to shout. You know, power does not shout. A lot of you with that Hermit, you could be moving in silence at this time, even though there are some challenging energies about you. I mean, it's pretty hard, no matter what you do right now. The world economically is very volatile, and of course, you're doing as much as you can. You're working really hard and you're exhausted there, but I feel there are rewards coming towards you. So even if you work in a competitive arena or an environment where people are envious of your success, it's because, you know, they basically hate in you what they lack in themselves, okay? So you just keep on shining your light. I feel like you're going to do really well here, and there's a lot of success. For some of you, this could also be like an envious energy because you're about to either be promoted, or you're about to get a good deal, or you're about to get a large sum of money in some way for whatever it is that you do. But people will see the measure of your success, and they do not know how much effort goes into what you do. So they just don't see all that effort. They just see the reward, or they see, you know, the life that you're aspiring to when you start to accomplish those things. And they don't really know what it takes because they don't have what it takes, or they haven't tapped into that part of themselves to really, you know, bring their A game. And, you know, eventually in time, they'll kind of work on themselves, or they'll work on their own path. But you could come across someone who's competitive, or just a little bit critical, shall we say, of your success. You know, backhanded compliments, things like that. Oh my gosh, I hate giving messages like this, but that's something that's coming out there. Also, I would say for some of you, because this is your protagonist energy, if you've had a setback and you are sort of looking at other people who may be, you know, moving forward, and perhaps due to nepotism, maybe they haven't been putting the amount of work in that you put in there. But I feel do not be envious of another person's path, because we all have our own unique path, and sometimes people are further ahead and then suddenly we pass them by, you know. So it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So I definitely see here that whatever it is you're working towards, it's definitely hard won. I can see you're working super hard for this, but there are rewards that are coming for you. And I feel like you did this all by yourself. You're self-made there. Now, we do have the Page of Swords. This can be a new idea because it is a protagonist energy there. So I would say that a lot of you may have like a new focus this month, and you may be investigating something, because I feel a lot of you could be planning something, or you're strategizing a new approach to your working environment. Don't get me wrong, with the King of Pentacles and the Page of Swords, yes, you're going to have lots of wonderful new ideas that could be new money-making ideas. So this could even be a second stream of income that you're thinking about launching, whether it's creative in nature or whether it complements what you do already. But the Page of Swords, you know, complementing the King of Pentacles there, can indicate you're going to be very much in administrative tasks, you know, receipts, spreadsheets, filing, emails, calls, that sort of thing. I feel like you'll be in business mode, but you're also in organization mode in the next coming weeks there. Also, I would say that there is some news that you will love. Now, because we do have the snake there and we have the Lover's card, for some of you, you may be going through something personal behind the scenes with a partner, okay? Perhaps there are some feelings of jealousy of your success, or there could be something personal going on behind the scenes that you're dealing with. You're trying to launch yourself into work in order to keep your personal life off your mind there, and I feel you'll do really well with that. I feel a lot of you are moving forward successfully without distractions at this time, but the Page of Swords with the Lover's card, it highlights that there is some sort of news, because pages deliver news, some sort of news that you're going to love, and I feel you may have to make a decision based on this. So if you've been putting your resume out there to find new opportunities, for example, it could be that suddenly your dedication has paid off. You have an interview, you go for that interview, and suddenly you get the role. And then you have to decide whether you want to leave the position you're in and move into something new. I feel the role that's new, again, it feels somehow you're removed from people. And, you know, you may feel a little bit like on the outside looking in, but it is a role of status and more money. And for some of you, if you really love where you're at right now, because the Lover's card can indicate there are aspects of whatever it is you do, but there may be just a person perhaps who makes everyone like walk on eggshells, or is abusing their power, or there's some sort of like office politics, and you're not about that. You tend to remove yourself from that. So it could be that you have to make a decision. Perhaps a new role is offered within that company environment, and you could like take a sidestep or move into this kind of promotion role, and everything changes, and the people who you used to work with, who were your co-workers, suddenly they are working under you because you're the boss, or you are in a higher position. And of course that can create jealousy or some sort of envy there as well. But the Lover's card can be that you are yearning for something, and maybe you're, basically applying for something with that Page of Swords, or you're documenting something. It could also be that for some of you, you're utilizing the internet for 2 streams of income, because the Lover's card is a duality card. So you could have ideas to do something creative, something that you love, but also, create some sort of partnership online with a social media platform, for example, because swords are all about air, the ether. So it can be that you're using communication to get your message out or your product, services out. This could be you promoting or maybe even marketing what you do if you work for yourself, for example, or it could also be that you have like a second stream of income, or you're launching some sort of second stream of income that coincides with what you do already. And I feel it is going to double your finances, because we have that King of Pentacles, which is to multiply your wealth. Most important for you, my beautiful Cancerians, is you need to make sure that your heart is in it. If I know a Cancerian, you can never make a Cancerian do what they do not want to do, okay? So your heart has to be in it. Maybe that's why I saw a heart at the beginning there. But this tells me that you are following your heart. You're investigating something. There's some sort of news where you feel you need to dig a little bit deeper on that, and you're eager to get moving forward on this. Now, also, I really get an energy of calculating. So it could be that personally, no matter what you do, it could be that you're calculating your finances at this time. You may be looking at your emotional spending. You tend to treat the people you care about a lot. So it could be that, you're looking at how much you spend on those little treats, because this is a card of calculation, and I'm seeing a calculator right now. So some of you could be like adding up your spending habits. You may be a little bit stricter with your finances, and you're going to have more money in your pocket there as well. King of Pentacles, very savvy with your finances. For some of you, you could also be like working super hard at this moment in time and taking on extra work or extra responsibilities in the working environment, because you may be trying to work smarter, not harder, so that you can actually retire early for some of you, because it's like if you are strict with yourself here with this whip card, the Hermit can be a period where you want to withdraw. You are leaving a working environment. For some of you, you have decided already on a date that you want to retire, and it could be that you're working towards that, and you're being really strict with yourself to just keep your head down and move on forward, and not get involved in all this messy business, as it were. But you could also be imparting your wisdom by training someone to do what you do whilst you get ready for retirement. And if that's you, congratulations, you're going to have an amazing time there. Okay, you're making some really great financial decisions there too. Now, no matter what you do, the Mountain energy is in the resistance position. It's been pretty hard recently. Even when you've been feeling motivated and excited, it still feels like you're pushing through mud, or you feel it's been heavy. You're at capacity. I feel a lot of you are overcommitted, under-supported. You may have been feeling stuck in a rut for some of you, and you're so ready for change. So some of you could feel like you have to take back the power and make some changes, and this could sort of transpire through things like new technology or new ways of working or new filing systems. I feel a lot of you are investigating new ways to do what you love so that you can like double the outcome. Because I'm getting like, I keep getting like you don't want to work as hard as you have been because you're exhausted there. So it could be that some of you are thinking about outsourcing some of your work, especially if you work for yourself, if you're an entrepreneur or you run your own business, a sole trader, for example. It can be that it's hard to keep motivated, but you're always bogged down by so many responsibilities and tasks that you may be looking at outsourcing some of those tasks that perhaps, other people can do. Maybe you're keeping the passionate creative side for yourself, being a little bit more hands-on with some area of the business, but outsourcing other areas as well, so you can tick over nicely and have more time for yourself and your family. So some of you could be contemplating these things at this time. Now it says here obstacles, delays, resistance, struggles, difficulties, blockages, stalled, opposition, okay? But it's in the resistance position. That's exactly where you want it to be, because it means, you know, any blockages or setbacks are being removed from your path, and it just feels a little bit lighter. But some of you with that whip there, you could be a little stricter with yourself, or sometimes you're extra critical on yourself and your path and how far along you are in the circumstances that you're in. And I feel, you know, you need to celebrate your wins, because sometimes you forget you're on to the next and you never stop and give yourself a moment to see how far you've come. You know, I feel like you've come a long way, you're established already, and you're really awesome at what you do. But there's something here with that Hermit where you're either drained or you're searching. So it could be that you're searching for that missing ingredient in your career, you know, the excitement aspect, because some of you with that whip can be that it's a repetitive cycle. You're doing what you do every day. It's a routine, and that means actually you're a pro at what you do. But sometimes we can get a little bit dissatisfied, or, you know, a little bit bored with whatever it is that we're doing, and we just need to find new ways to keep it fresh and interesting. So it could be that you're searching for inspiration during this time. For some of you, it could literally be that you're searching for tools or technology, or you may be searching for something. It could be that you're chasing someone for an invoice to be paid, especially if you are a freelancer, for example. You could also be hunting down your next job if you're a freelancer. So for some of you, whatever it is that you're searching for, I feel like you're going to find it, and it's going to be very lucrative for you there as well. But great that that card is in the resistance position. It's governed by Saturn, and I definitely see here that a lot of you, Saturn is very serious. It basically cracks that whip and says, get on with your tasks and responsibilities, and then you can go play. So I definitely see here that you are serious about a goal, you're organized, structured, and productive, and I feel like a lot of you are in the planning stages for something new. Now, it could be that you're deciding to leave a position. And if you are someone who works for yourself, it could be a new idea that you are trying to strategize at this time, maybe a new style or a new project. Some of you may even be launching something new in the next 6 weeks. And I see that actually it's going to be really well received. People are going to love it. But a lot of you may either trial it on your friends or family first, or you may run past some ideas with your nearest and dearest. If your nearest and dearest, if you're married, for example, or if you have a high level commitment or in a relationship, or maybe there's someone in your family unit, they may be struggling with something right now. And for some of you, you may be the main breadwinner, but it may not be that. Seeing with that mountain energy and the snake, it could be that, you know, you're alive with ideas and success and energy to move forward on a project. And sometimes when something doesn't work out for a person, they get a little bit jaded. So you may receive some sort of like news or have a conversation with a person that really dampens your spirits in a way. And this is coming from a person who is basically, well, I feel like they've kind of gone through a bad patch and they've almost like given up on a dream. But I feel you lend a supportive ear and actually kind of help raise their spirits in some way. But they may actually be a little bit critical or a little bit negative, shall we say, on something that you're excited to move forward on. Don't ever let that dull your shine or derail you, okay? Because I feel they're projecting something that they're disappointed about as well. So that's coming out there too. Now, the Page of Pentacles is in the resistance position. And, you know, at first this can indicate that either something isn't working, okay, or there's been a problem that you've had to solve. You'll definitely solve this in the next 6 weeks. And a lot of you, if you've been going to interviews and you haven't heard back on an interview, you'll hear about this interview process. And I feel a lot of you, there is this energy of you kind of like, I can't quite tell, I gotta be honest, I might pull a card on it actually, because I can't tell if you turn something down because you feel actually it does not value your skill set financially. The money is off, it's not the amount of money that you're hoping for, and you could turn this down. Or whether there's something that you feel like you're interested in at first and it does not go your way. There's a setback or you get disappointed in something, but I would say, you know, there's a refocus here. I feel the universe is sending you something else that's much more financially lucrative and has more status, more responsibility, but also helps you reach your financial goals as well as the position you wish to be in your industry, okay? And if you are, yeah, look, we got the 10 of Pentacles. I only read the upright in the decks, so I want you to be aware of that. You know, I'm clarifying this card, and it's the 10 of Pentacles, so there is some sort of like financial opportunity that comes in, but there may be some sort of like question mark over something, or you may be disappointed in something at first and then realize actually it works out even better for you, okay? I mean, for some of you, if you're in a company or an industry where they give quarterly bonuses or yearly bonuses, for example, it could be that there's a little bit of gossip that perhaps it's not going to happen, you know, but I feel it will happen. However, there's a Page of Pentacles here and a 10 of Pentacles, so it can be that you do get the bonus. However, it's not as much as either you were expecting or as normal, but there may be something a little bit more to come in the future. It feels like it's being portioned up somehow, so that's coming out there as well. Now, for some of you, as I mentioned with that 10 of Pentacles and that Lover's card, it can be that some of you are dealing with something like personal in the family. I mean, if you work with the family, if you have a family business, for example, it could be that, you know, everybody has an idea of how things should be run. And, you know, sometimes too many cooks in the kitchen, if you know that sentence, it could be that there's a little bit of conflict, or there has to be like a reordering of hierarchy, or, you know, everyone getting back on track and remembering what you're working towards, rather than everyone getting, you know, a little bit upset at each other. So if you've been going through some sort of conflict in the working environment, or, you know, in your own personal circumstances with your family, I feel this is something that will be resolved, okay? But you may remove yourself from this drama. I feel a lot of you just don't want to get involved. You want it solved, but at the same time, I feel like you're fed up of any repeating cycles. And you may get a little bit crabby yourself and say, hey, we're all working towards the same common goal here, okay? We just want to be successful. We want things to move forward. Let's just keep our eye on the prize and refocus and leave any drama outside, okay? So you could really be a hard taskmaster and actually, I want to say, pull rank, okay? Some of you, no matter what you do, whether you work for your own company and you have people working with you, or whether you work in a family business, or whether you work in a company for other people, I feel some of you may have to pull rank on someone who is either getting a little bit out of order or is getting too comfortable with being inconsistent, okay? Yeah, that's something that's coming through there. 10 of Pentacles, you know, this is also a card of being serious, locking into your goals and, you know, investing 100% into whatever it is that you do. With that 10 of Pentacles, some of you could be looking into real estate, your options on buying real estate, and perhaps, you know, renting, or what do you call it, flipping? I'm not sure what that's all about, but you know what I mean. Some of you could be going into real estate, or perhaps that's what you're in right now and you're looking at the challenging market, but it will pick up there for you as well. There's still some good deals is what I'm seeing. But also a lot of you, no matter what you do, there could be some sort of financial news that you've been waiting for, and you may have felt that things have been a bit of a struggle. Like some of you here may have felt personally a financial pinch, okay? But I feel you're removing a money block, you know, because that 10 of Pentacles came out and you're ending on a King of Pentacles, which means, you know, you're being more financially savvy. You will have more money in your pocket. You're going to be saving more. But also it could be that wherever you work, there could be the possibility of a commission or a small increase, raise in your circumstances, and maybe even some new investment into a company that gets distributed out a little bit further. So if you work for yourself, it could be like a dividend, for example. Perhaps you're able to take a little bit more money. Perhaps you felt really financially stretched until you were able to take that money, for example. So please apply it to your situation. But the thing that you felt there was resistance with, or you were not moving forward with, these next 6 weeks are critical for you to move forward, okay? And a lot of you may be trying to remove distractions because you need to focus on something. I mean, some of you could be drawing up a plan, or you could be, you know, starting a new project. You could be very structured on your goals at this time, and you don't want distractions. So you may be removing yourself from something in order to really complete a task or responsibility and get it done. And you're going to be really proud of yourself. And it is rewarding in itself to know that you got something completed, but also there is some sort of financial reward that's attached to it there. Now we do have the Emperor. okay? And it's in the resistance position, so this can indicate that some of you perhaps have the potential to deal with someone who abuses their position, or perhaps they are, let me put it this way. For some of you, you may deal with a person who thinks they're in control, but actually they're not qualified to be in control. Or it could be that perhaps they have a really big ego and they are letting that get in the way of business, for example. Or for some of you, it could be that someone is put in a position of authority in your working environment, but they're just not qualified, or they don't have the skill sets to be there. Some of you may feel like you're micromanaged by this person already, and you just feel like they don't have the credentials, or they are someone who basically, they are kind of like deflecting, like they're micromanaging everybody else because they're not pulling their own weight. So it could be something like that you'll deal with, but I definitely see here that this person eventually may move or be removed from the working environment. I see someone, especially if you work for a company, I see someone who's in a position of authority stepping down, and someone a little bit younger who's just not qualified to be there really may take their place. And there may be some challenges at first, but this person, I feel like they're very strict, and eventually they're going to get a little bit fed up, and they actually may leave, because I see that they see this role as a stepping stone to get something on their resume in order to move elsewhere. And then the environment becomes a much nicer environment to work in. Now, if you are someone who is thinking about setting up your own business, I feel like you would be a great boss. I feel like you'd run your business, and I feel you'd be very successful at it. But there may be some sort of strategy or rule or regulation. Maybe it's a legal structure of a business that perhaps you're thinking about setting up at first, and it may look like a big old mountain to climb, but the first step is important, and then it will be all plain sailings from there. So I do not feel that anything will really get in your way, but I feel that a lot of you may be protecting your finances that way if you're setting up your own business, and some of you may also get some advice on how to set something up, whether it is online or whether it is some sort of legal structure that seems very challenging at first. I feel like you will get it done, okay? But the majority of you, no matter what you're doing, I feel like there's a lot of changes in your industry, and you may not trust the way that the industry is moving forward, because that snake is really calling to me. So that can be that you're noticing that there's a lot of redundancies or closures in industry or in the working environment that you're in right now, and you may be a little bit cautious, but actually I see that you are going to be in a really great position there. You may have even witnessed some people take voluntary redundancy, which of course that's not fair, but I feel that those people will go on to bigger and better things. And sometimes the universe will do that. It will give us a nudge off a fence, because if you talk to those people, they may have actually decided a long time ago that they want to leave, but they didn't do it. And the universe is saying, okay, it's time. Okay, so if you hear of redundancies, I feel that they're actually going to go on to bigger and better things. And if you've come to this reading and you are a person who has been made redundant, again, I see the same thing for you, bigger and better things. And actually, you'll make more money than you did before, and you'll feel more satisfied there as well. So we have the whip. Okay, I didn't choose the cards for you, my beautiful Cancerians, but this can indicate that a lot of you, it's been a challenge, okay? And staying motivated is one of the hardest things. It says here, repetition, pain, conflict, anger, redo. Some of you may actually deal with a person where they make a mistake and you have to redo it or go back on it or call them out on it, confront them on it. For some of you, if you're outsourcing things like contracts to certain people, because there's a lot of people here. I'm going to pull a card and see why there's so many people, because, you know, your protagonist energy is all about relationships in the working environment. And it can be that you're keeping an eye on your relationships or being vigilant about people and how they work together and, you know, who's conspiring against who. And I really don't like to give that message, but you have cards that kind of highlight this at this time. So somebody may be going through that at this time. For some of you, this could be that you mistrust the establishment who are governing the world at this moment in time. So it doesn't have to be, you know, connected to your industry. It could be that you're keeping an eye on certain people who are governing certain areas and sectors financially, and it can be that there seems to be some sort of like abuse of power where it's affecting your industry or your working environment, and it's just not fair, and it's making you frustrated. And it can be that you're trying to stay on top of things, and you're wondering, is there some sort of punishment going on here? Surely there needs to be an industry that is flourishing for a country to thrive, for example, and some of you could just have a question mark over that. I'm only saying that because you have the Emperor, which is all about authoritative figures, structure, and rules and regulations in business or society. So I'm just going to pull a card and see why you have so many people here. Okay. We have the Magician. So the Magician, that's all about you having everything you need within yourself to be really awesome and allow yourself to shine in industry. But also you have the Lover's card. So this can indicate that, no matter the distractions, no matter whether someone supports you or not, you're vibing at a frequency to do something that you love. And this is a manifestation card as well. It means your heart has to lock on to something that you love. You have to feel something about what you do. And if you're constantly exhausted and overcommitted and under stress or pressure, that will attract more because it's an energy. The universe understands energy and vibration. So a lot of you could be managing your stress levels or keeping your eye on people and how they try to trigger you, and you could be removing yourself from any kind of worry or stress. Even if you're an entrepreneur or you run your own business, it could be that I'm just being given the word read, so maybe it's something you're reading. Read or read, well, it's the same word, R-E-A-D. That's what I'm seeing in the water. I'm not sure why it just came up. This could be a person's name or a place or the name of a business. Read. So I'm just going to leave that there, okay? What I can see is R-E-A-D, so it feels like it's read. So it could be like read your rights or read your contract on something if someone is trying to trigger you, or if someone is singling you out for something, you may take this to a governing body that can maybe do something about it. But the Magician card, it tells me that you are in a period where you are having a lot of potential to create your destiny, to create your dreams and make them become a reality. And it's hard, I feel like you're working at capacity. I feel like you're working like super diligently towards something, and it's like you're locking onto the prize, which is like show me the money with this card. Okay, so if you can see your spread from how I can see it, it's like this Page of Swords. That means you're intuitive. It means that you're very intelligent. It means you have a lot of knowledge. You're eager to move forward. And some of you could be learning new practices to be relevant in your industry or stay ahead of the competition. And, this figure is locked onto the prize, which is the money. Okay, so a lot of you could be, focused on that at this time. Now, we do have the Hierophant here. Okay, now the Hierophant is all about contracts. I mean, there is an energy with the Lover's card. If some of you are, in the working environment and having a bit of an office romance or an industry romance, doesn't have to be in the office, whatever you do, there could be a flirtation going on there. This person, just be a little mindful. I mean, if you know this person and you know that they're not married, then of course, and if you want to explore it, go for it. But there is a potential here for someone who is married to kind of like cross a mark in the working environment and not be so professional. And looking at the energy with the Hermit, a lot of you are like, nope, withdrawing from that, saying, I don't think so, gonna just focus on work, keep my head down there, okay? But this person has an ego, so just watch out for that. Sometimes we have to diplomatically find a way to politely, I hate that this is coming out, because sometimes, no is a full sentence. It's a full stop sentence, like no. It stops there. But I feel the person you're dealing with could have their ego bruised, and they may make it a mission to make things difficult for you. So just watch out for that, okay? Document everything if you feel they are overstepping a mark, and take any evidence to a governing body, and they can help you with that as well. But, I mean, for the majority of you, the Hierophant can be new knowledge, okay? It can be that you're backing yourself, you're believing in yourself, your industry is changing, and you are being flexible and changing with it by learning new knowledge to keep ahead of the competition and educate yourself, upskill in in some way. And a lot of you, actually, you're so knowledgeable, you could be a mentor, okay? You could teach other people what you do. And if you're close to retirement, or if you are retired and you've come to this reading, a lot of you could actually pool your knowledge into some sort of course of learning, some sort of handbook of how to do something. Maybe you could be a consultant on something, and it could be that you dip in and out and still earn some extra money in your retirement. So maybe this is something you're thinking about right now, because the Page of Swords are all about thoughts, ideas. Like, what if I did that? You know, I feel a lot of you, it's like, what if I had a second stream of income? What if I actually did another, creation? What if I, set up this structure? I feel a lot of you are in a very explorative phase right now, and the Hierophant kind of indicates everything is coming together as planned. And, I'm being given this energy as well, that a lot of you are like just super serious about work right now, because you need to make headway on something and you're just keeping your head down. Yes, you're exhausted, but you're plodding on through and you're making it happen. But there is a reward here. There is some sort of financial reward. And that Magician card indicates that you have a certain magic that is going to make it happen. You have a co-creative energy with your thoughts becoming things, okay? Also, the Magician card can indicate that some of you are steering clear of a manipulation. Okay, this could be someone who maybe, if you work for yourself, there could be someone who puts some sort of proposal down. Like, this would be a really great idea if we work together. Some of you may actually be headhunted at this time, and you may look into this a little bit more and see that actually, is it a good deal? Are they pressurizing you to move forward with this? Are they saying this is a one-time only deal? Whenever anybody says that or tends to pressure you to make a decision on something, it normally means they benefit from something and they don't want you to see something. And you're a very intuitive person. So especially if you work for yourself, I feel like you're going to avoid something that had the potential for a misstep. Okay. Now, we do have that whip there, so that's telling me that you're stricter with your finances, stricter with your energy and your time, and you have no time for time wasters. But also, I feel like you're like evaluating your circumstances right now, and you realize that your value is not tied up in your career. Your value is not tied up in another person. You are valuing yourself and your skill set, and you're looking for reciprocity. So I feel like, if you're not getting a good deal where you're at right now, a lot of you are curious about new options, and I feel like you're sticking to a plan. And at first you may feel it's going to be challenging, but actually when you action the next steps, it's going to be so rewarding there for you. Okay, we have the Hermit. Now the Hermit energy, of course, is again new knowledge, enlightenment. So a lot of you are searching for something right now. This could be knowledge. So for some of you, it could be, if you're a freelancer, you're searching for your next opportunity. For some of you, if you're a performer, it could be that you're searching for your next job. If you're a musician, you could be like searching for your next inspiration. So please take it as it resonates. But the Hermit indicates you have a lot of knowledge and natural knowledge there as well. But I feel there is this energy of you thinking over something, strategizing something, and thinking about your journey, your roadmap to where you want to be. It's not just all about money and paying the bills. A lot of you need to have this sense of fulfillment in your career as well. So I feel a lot of you are wakening up to that, like, am I fulfilled in my working environment? What's the missing ingredient? And you could be having like appraisals or conversations with people in positions who can open new doors for you. And a lot of you, you may be building alliances or even networking for your industry. But ultimately, what I see here is you're locked on some great ideas, and I feel like you're squirreling away to make it happen, working like overtime for some of you, and you are removing distractions in order to pick up the prize here, whatever the prize is for you. King of Pentacles indicates a very enterprising energy. You have the ability to attract more opportunities, including wealth. You're reliable, you're someone who's diligent, and you will find an opportunity everywhere you go because you are an asset to anybody's team or even to an industry. You're someone who is building a name for yourself. I see here that your reputation is increasing, and what I see here is a strategy to build, and you're focused on building wealth and stability for you and your family and those you care about, and I feel like you are going to hit your target. You are going to reach your goal. Now, this card can indicate that there's a new role with more responsibility being offered to you very shortly, but it can also indicate that you are self-made and successful, and that, you know, you're making some really good business deals intuitively and with that knowledge that you have as well. And although, you know, sometimes the King of Pentacles, I gotta be honest with you, especially since you got the whip, sometimes repetitive scenarios, things that we have to do day to day, it can be boring, it can be dull, you know, but you may be looking at a new approach to make sure you keep it interesting. But at the same time, when you do something all the time, it almost like becomes autopilot. So you're pro at what you do, and I feel like you should honor that as well there. I would also say that you're focused heavily on your finances over the next coming weeks, and some of you may even be looking into generational wealth structures at this time. There may even be, if you work for a company, you know, some sort of 401k or pension advisor who comes in, and you may have a conversation with that person to understand a little bit more about, you know, the funds that are invested. For some of you, this could be you reaching out to a financial advisor or an accountant to really understand your next steps financially there, or structures that are in place that you have to adhere to. So your final cards are pointing at more or less the same thing. You know, you have many talents. Sometimes we can have more than one purpose. So a lot of you may be tapping into second streams of income or called to do something else that complements whatever it is that you do already. It says you have a lot of skills to discover and use for good. Don't sell yourself short. That definitely came up in this reading there. For some of you, people may have told you you're overqualified, or, you know, that perhaps they're saying that the role requires less skills than you have, and that just basically means people are trying to palm you off with the fact that they love your skill set. They really want to hire you, but actually, you know, they don't want to pay the money. So it could be a budget thing, but you are going to find a role that matches your skill set and pays fairly if you're searching right now. And some of you may be offered that promotion that you were promised and it never materialized. And for some of you, there could also be a small increase in your wealth there. Now, if you are someone who is thinking about setting up your own business, I definitely see here that it's going to be hard, don't get me wrong, but I feel it's going to be very rewarding there as well. And sometimes when we do something that we're passionate about, it doesn't feel like hard work because we're so in it, we're involved in the midst of it, and it's beautiful. So I feel you're going to work really hard on something that all starts to shape up nicely. And a lot of people may go, wow, where did you find the time to do that? And you're like, I don't know, I just love what I do. So we also have new horizons there. So there are new opportunities coming on in here for you. And it says here, your dreams are within reach. So keep going. Fortune is on your side. I mean, it has been a bit of a struggle to get to where you feel you want to get to in your career, but I definitely see that you are well on your way. Okay. So a lot of your next coming weeks are maintaining, sustaining, and grabbing onto new opportunities as they arise. Okay, so I'm just going to go and get a trinket or a rune before we close. So we have the Lantern for the Hermit energy there. So this is inspiration. It can also be a path of illumination. So perhaps you're guiding people or training people for some of you, but I feel this is you reigniting your spark, you know, recharging your batteries. A lot of you could be working like super hard in order to take a short break there, a vacation, for example. And if you work for yourself, you may have to be really strict with yourself to make sure that you actually take a break, because work can still be on your mind and you may feel like you want to dip in there occasionally just to see how everything's going, but it's going to be okay. You know, it'll be fine ticking over there, and you can return when you are recharged. Now we also have a dragonfly, and this can indicate an opportunity coming in that's very fast paced. For some of you, this could be a seasonal role, or it could be a freelance opportunity coming in as well. For some of you, I feel this is you aligning yourself with something special that basically flourishes and nourishes your gift and your skill set is what I'm feeling there. What am I seeing there as well? I'm feeling you being in the flow, even though that's a dragonfly, because I'm actually seeing two dragonflies land on water. Okay, that's what I'm seeing in the water right now. Two dragonflies land on water, and they're just kind of like, sitting on the water. So either this can mean that things have been heavy, but now you're going to feel lighter. Maybe it's you tapping into your dreams, making them become a reality, or really focusing on them, reflecting on them at this time. I'm not really sure. Maybe it's going to be an image that you'll see, and it coincides with some sort of good financial news there as well. And we finally have the Crown, and I'm being given an energy with this. Remember who you are. Remember your skill set. Remember what you're capable of. And this is a period of empowerment. So some of you may actually have the crown passed on to you, like the baton. Okay, so it could be that you are filling someone else's role because you're being given a promotion or more responsibilities. But this is to know of your success and that you have a lot of power in a position and a lot of gravitas. So some of you, it's like adjust your crown and move forward and remember who you are. There's some really great things coming towards you, okay? And maybe even a crown is a logo there as well. It could be that you're being verified or sworn into like something work-wise that's connected to a crown. Maybe it's an official thing, an official document that comes in as well. So I'll leave that there. Perhaps it'll resonate with someone out there. Thank you so much, my beautiful Cancerians, and love and light.